My husband's Granny Jordan lived to be 90 without a broken bone. But that's not to say she didn't fall often. Whether she had an equilibrium problem or was just clumsy, the family never decided. Suffice it to say, she never hurt herself badly enough to decide to see a doctor for testing. And she never owned up to being clumsy. It became a family joke when our teenagers left for school in the morning. "Now, Mama, don't go out to get the mail until we get home. We don't want you to fall off the curb. After all, what would the neighbors say about finding you in the gutter?" Later in life, she lived with her daughter and son-in-law. One night, she got up to go to the restroom, and when she stood up from the toilet bowl, she tipped herself over into the nearby bathtub. Not wanting to wake the kids at 2 o'clock in the morning, she just pulled a towel around her arms, and she lay there in the bathtub until their alarm clock went off the next morning. When they teased her about the incident the next morning, Granny Jordan just responded, "Oh, I only fall enough to stay in shape." Now, if you'd like to be as witty as Granny Jordan, consider these winning ways as a conversationalist. 1. Say it before you overthink it. Otherwise, your moment will pass. It's much like the problem I have when I start to get on a fast-moving, steep escalator. If I'm in a hurry and I approach that escalator, I step on it without a problem. But if I stop dead still at the top of that escalator, it seems much harder to step on. I often stand there thinking, I'll wait for the second step, the third step, the next step. And sooner or later, I hesitate way too long. Momentum, once stopped, seems very difficult to regain. So it is with conversation. Once you hesitate with a quick-witted statement, it melts in your mouth. The moment passes, lost forever. 2, plan for spontaneity. As Mark Twain once observed, it usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech. Professional speakers call them saver lines, funny remarks to save the day when common things go awry, like technology failures, memory lapses, or audience disruptions. For example, when delivering a keynote recently, a colleague of mine actually fell off the stage and landed just sprawling out on the floor in front of her audience. Her saver line that day, "I'll now take questions from the floor." Likewise, if you typically find yourself in the same situations repeatedly, develop some reusable lines that will seem spontaneous to those around you. And another tip for being witty, get physical. Body language can be as witty as spoken language. A wry smile at just the right spot, a raised eyebrow, shrugged shoulders, a flip of the wrist. Such physical humor pumped into a conversation at an unsuspecting moment can generate the same laugh as the wittiest remark. And then adopt a light-hearted frame of mind, at least temporarily. It's difficult to be witty when you're stressed. Give yourself permission to speak up or react in the moment. If you amuse, great. If not, play it straight. Simply move ahead in the conversation as if you meant the line to be straightforward. Nothing lost. Wit and wisdom call for playfulness and perspective, neither of which show up when you take yourself too seriously. So relax, reflect, and let the words flow.